everyone, and welcome back to Taylor's Home Ed. I know it's been a while, sorry, we've had a bit of a break from YouTube and I've decided to come back since we've just had to write reports recently, and while it's fresh in my brain I thought I'd give a few top tips, especially if there's anybody out there writing their first ever report in the UK. So tips for writing your first home ed report, or maybe it's not your first but maybe you just want some ideas. It doesn't have to be like this is just some of the things we do. So first of all, for us as a family, we keep everything in writing, and we do that because then we have a paper trail. So if anything was to go wrong, not that it's going to, but if anything was to go wrong, there's a paper trail on my side and then all the information that comes from our local authority as well. This is all information to do with the UK. If you are in America or other places like that, please check your laws because I can't quote them. I don't know them exactly. So yeah, keep everything in paper form personally for us. Some people don't, and some people say it's easy and they have like a FaceTime call. And if that's for you, that's great. But these are just some little tips. This is what we do. When we did our first ever report for Hazel, who's our eldest,
Who's 6?
she is 6 now. She had only been home educating for I think 3 or 4 months when they first contacted us. They contacted us literally just as she turned 5 in the November, and in the January we had contact from our local authority and was asked to write a report for her. Sometimes they can contact you in a couple of weeks, months, years, sometimes they never contact you. But for our first report, it was just a few short months. So at first we wrote a little bit about Hazel and her personality and the things she likes and the way that we were learning at that time to suit her. We just did a little paragraph at the start. We also wrote our sort of ethos and way of learning with our girls. So for instance, ours is pretty semi-structured. We do some maths, English, phonics in the morning, and then in the afternoons they are free to decide what they want to do, what they want to learn, whether it just be exploring different questions or whether that be going out and playing a game of tennis or going out on their bikes, looking at nature. Their afternoon is theirs because we believe for our family that the girls should have some ownership over their learning, and we'd like that to grow as they get older. So by letting them have that freedom to explore, to play in the afternoon, hopefully it will develop their learning and it will promote questions, and we can go on to things like that. For other people it's different. Maybe you're a Montessori mum or dad or carer, and you learn through play. Maybe you have a certain curriculum that you follow. It doesn't have to be semi-structured. It's just what we do. So just write a little bit maybe about the way you learn and how you think it suits your child. So once you've written a little bit about your child's personality and their interests and the way you're learning, for us, we then go on to setting it out in subjects. It's just easier for me to break down and organise that information. So the subjects that we're kind of learning are like maths, phonics, there's sewing lessons, music lessons, that sort of thing. I break it down with little headings and then I write about each one, and in each one I just write about what we're currently doing, what the girls have done, what activities we might be learning, what resources we're using, and also how they've learnt it. Has there been a quiz at the end? How we know they're progressing. Is there anything that they're struggling with and that we're going to go back and revisit? It's always good to mention obviously the good stuff because this is your chance to promote your child and promote your home ed learning, but also remember we don't always get it right, and sometimes we need to go back and learn too, and that's absolutely okay to recap on things. Don't fear putting down anything that you've said, oh well, we've had to go back and learn something. That's perfectly normal, so include that. Is there anything else? Yes, you may find that your local authority asks you to send your child's work or your children's work. We don't. By law, you do not have to send your child's work. You do not have to do that. Their work belongs to them. So therefore, it's their choice as to whether they send it off to the local authority or not. We've only ever sent one link in one report, which was on a YouTube video for public to see anyway. We've never sent physical work to the local authority. We've always just written about what we've been learning. Wow, that looks so good. I like your tracing skills. That's fantastic. You're showing everybody. Well done. I think that's really, really neat. Other things you can include in your report are things like the groups or activities that you maybe go to. So for us, we do some sports activities, we do forest school, we do sewing lessons, music lessons, even going to the library. But whatever you do, well, I don't want to dictate, but maybe say don't say the days or the times or the venues you go to. I mean, the local authority could turn up, not to say that they're going to, but they could turn up to these groups, which I don't think you'd want them just to turn up ad hoc. So we say what groups they go to, but we never mention the venue, we never mention the time or the place. We just say what they do there, what they enjoy, and what they're learning. Remember that your report is individual to you and your child, your way of learning and your child's way of learning. So no two reports are going to be the same. This information that I'm giving you right now may not suit you at all. It's just in case you're looking for some tips, it really is. Sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming when you're first having to write a report, and it can be a bit scary.
But not when you got a pumpkin.
Not when you've got a pumpkin. I remember when we first had to write our very first report, and I felt very worried. I wanted to know if I needed certain boxes to tick and things like that. But
you didn't.
In the end, it was okay. Be polite with your local authority. You don't have to send in work, and if they ask for things and you feel that it's not right, it's okay to decline it and say, I don't want to share that information, but here's our report we've written for you. Sometimes they send in they ask you to fill out questionnaires online. You can do if you feel that's okay, but sometimes the questions can be a bit too invasive. Don't push, hey. So I tend to just write my own report and send it in. I think there are top tips for sending in a report. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. If there is any questions you want to ask me, just leave them in the comments. This video has all been based on UK reports because we live in the UK. I don't know what the laws are like elsewhere in different countries, but I hope it helps if there's anybody out there that is feeling a little bit nervous or maybe just wants some ideas to put together their first report. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you on the next one. Bye! Say bye, Rachie!